Hello and welcome to the episode of the Linux Basics series. My name is Eric, and in this basic series I try to teach you everything I know about Linux. If you haven't seen all the other episodes, there should be a playlist popping up. In this episode 6, I'm going to be showing you how to build from source code. So I'll be using a clean environment for that, so I'll take you step by step along the way how to get Audacity built from source. Pretty cool. This is a little bit longer intro, so bear with me, I have lots of things to tell you. This is quite an extensive video, and I will show you several things. First thing I'll show you is how to set up the development environment. It's based on a Fedora KDE Spin, Fedora 37. And I'll be using source code from GitHub. So I'll be following the instructions from Audacity itself. And I also will be looking into Koji. I'll also be resolving some dependency conflicts, installing the required libraries, looking at error messages, trying to figure out what they mean, looking at documentation, looking at source code. And basically I end up with a good build command and following the documentation for the most part. But I will show you the end result that will be a working and compiled Audacity. Oh, and we'll also be looking at some additional package repositories. I'll be looking at Copper, user repositories. I'll be adding RPM Fusion. And sometimes I speed up the video a little bit because it takes a while for me to figure stuff out. And this is also the first time I do it. It's a new ecosystem for me. But I learned a lot along the way, and in the end I had joy in that it finally worked. I want to take you along the journey if it's interesting for you. And without further ado, let's dig into the video. Hello everyone, so let's dive into how to install packages on Linux. So I have a clean VM here, I just installed it. And let me skip the wizard here. What I'm gonna do is from scratch compile Audacity. So this is a little bit better, I think, in terms of screen size. And let's grab a piece of documentation about Audacity. So it's an easy to use multi-track audio editor for Windows, Mac and GNU/Linux and other operating systems. So it has lots of features. So recording, export, import, high quality, 30-bit float, plugin support, macro scripting, Nyquist, that's new for me as well, editing, accessibility for VI users. Interesting. Analysis and visualization tools. So it's I use it myself as well, and it's very fun to use. It's open source, so let's see if we can get it compiled. And the build instructions are available here. Let's click on it and move further. So what do you need? Python, so newer than 3.8, Make, CMake, 3.16 or newer, compiler, GraphViz, optional, and Windows is a whole different story, I think. And so is Mac OS. It's not interesting for us because we're on Linux. Let's look here. Conan uses Conan to manage dependencies. If Conan is not already installed, Audacity will download and install it automatically, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so CMake. So you can use Brew on OS X. On Linux, it's CMake, so sudo pip install CMake. That looks easy enough. And here are some compile instructions on Linux. So Debian, OpenSUSE and Fedora. So I already did an update, so I don't have to do that again. So DNF install this one. So I'll pull up the documentation inside the virtual machine. That's a bit easier. All right, so this is the first challenge. So this is the first time I'm doing it as well. Let's check what is the problem here. Problem: package jack audio connection kit devel requires jack audio connection kit, but none of these providers can be installed. So I think I need to search for this one, right? So the jack connection audio kit. So sudo dnf search for this. Yeah. So we have it here, and I think then we just do the jack audio connection kit. Jack audio connection kit devel. I think it's a development library. At least this is a development library. So if you compile packages, you will need the devel. So sudo dnf install. So we're actually, of course, using another package installer dnf, but that's a whole different video topic. All right, so the problem is it requires this version. Okay, it requires the version. So we have conflicting requests. This one requires this one, but none of them can be installed. Probably this is a version conflict, I think. So Fedora 37, 19. Yeah, so it's a totally different version, as you can maybe see. 19 is different than 0.3, so it's totally different. Still, they are both Fedora 37. I see here the i686. And you have XX. Okay. Nice. Okay, that sounds logical. Let's see how to do it again. Search. And then I probably will just pick one of these. So add the architecture in there, right? So let's do it like this. So dnf install allow erasing. Paste it in there. And so I want to install this one, so the 64-bit version, and I will allow erasing of that conflict package. Oh, what is it again? Allow erasing, like this. Yeah. All right, so installing jack audio connection kit devel, so 64 bits. And these dependencies, jack audio connection kit, this one. And this will be removed, so the pipewire, this will be removed because that was conflicting anyways. So that looks okay to me. Let's hit yes there. Yeah, so this small side step how you can even have dependency conflicts on a freshly installed system anyways. So let's copy it again. Copy. Paste it in there. Hit enter here. See what happens. Yeah. So that looks okay. So this is like the proposal. A lot of Perl. Git is also required. So these are the packages that are here, so you can match those. And these are the dependencies of these packages. So yeah, let's, oops. Hit yes there. Because we're fine with that. And that has been completed. Let's move to the next step. There's this one, sudo pip install Conan and a specific version. All right, that has been done. Note that it says sudo pip install, so it installed it as the root, so as a root user. So it's a system-wide available, not under also under my username, of course, but for every user on the system. All right, so this is not necessary. It generates diagrams, the large scale structure of Audacity source code, graphics, It's not necessary. Let's skip it for now. So here's instructions on Windows. Yeah. Let's move to this next step. Git clone Audacity. So I cloned it and I have the directory here. So Audacity, this one. So this is, okay, yeah, it should be in this directory. So as you see by the command, so it's going above and then Audacity from the build directory, which I'm now in. There you go. Okay, configuring incomplete, errors occurred. Let's see. Could not find libuuid. Interesting. It was already in here, right? So you had it, UUID devel. But maybe it's not the same. Let's check. So let's do sudo dnf search. Or dnf provides and then libuuid. So it's a different command. And you can see here the universally unique ID library, Fedora, libuuid, same. And then provide libuuid. So it's a different one than this. So I think it's good to install that. So let's do search. You don't have to actually do sudo dnf search. At least I don't have to go back when I want to install type sudo there each time. And libuuid devel. Search for that and then we can install. Let's install it. So that is missing from this then, if this even works. Let's do that again. Yeah, comes further. So I think this also one of the coolest parts is the building stage. You see all these codes running on the screen. I have no idea exactly what it does, but it looks cool. And here it's downloading these Conan sources, like we read in the README file. All right, so this has been completed, and it still says configuring incomplete, errors occurred. So CMake error, CMake modules, Audacity dependencies, CMake, yeah. Conan failed to install dependencies. User bin Python 3.11. Ah, I see. So let's check. So the Python version. Okay, that looks good. Scroll up a little bit. Let's run it again. So 3.11 seems to be installed. Let's see that again. Yep. So it's way faster. Audacity. I thought you could easily open and jump to the line number by using that, but okay. 572. All right, what does it say here? Include Audacity dependencies. Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't have the answer here. So maybe a fun little interjection here. I think there's something to do with that Conan and VST3 SDK. And I just googled it, and it's a closed thread. So I'm just trying to get this, for example, code and get, see if it works. Steinberg, VST, yeah. These are these audio plugins, right? You need to observe recipe here, corner file. Open that. Yeah, it's the same. All right. And I see that building with Conan disabled is, yeah, this one. So I paused it and I just looked at the source code. So the VST is plugin Steinberg plugins for audio, and I think Conan should be able to. There's another program should be able to provide the SDK, and I see that you can pass this option to CMake. So let's just do that, right? History again. So CMake this one. So let's do that again. Hit Control R to recursively search CMake. There you go. And let's add this parameter to there. Let's see what happens. So it looks to be going okay. So this one is also giving an error. So WX widgets. Let's see what we can find there. So it failed because of the WX widgets. And here in the README it also said WX widgets. We require that version 3.13 is used. The version is not available in most of the distributions. So I guess I should install something to do with WX widgets, but I'm not entirely sure at this moment. So let's see if this helps. I'm not sure. So doubtful if this will help. And there's also some interesting that I saw here. So load it. So obey system dependencies is on. Maybe I should use that as well as a command line argument. All right. Let's add these in there as well. Just pasted it behind here. And then dash Audacity. Let's see if that changes anything. So my virtual machine crashed. And let's remove these locks. So run it again. I increased the memory of the virtual machine. So let's run it again and see what happens. All right, next is package vamp required by virtual world not found. Package vamp host SDK required by virtual world not found. So that should be probably easy to solve. Let's copy it. Restore the session. So you know that these kind of software like Audacity has lots of requirements, lots of dependencies. pip install, vamp fails, Mojave, macOS. Let's see, vamp plugins. Let's put Audacity in there. Audacity. Vamp plugins not found. Solved. Windows. Vamp plugins not found. GNU Linux. So this. Running Audacity. Home vamp. Vamp. All right. Vamp plugins. Let's check back the original. And let's here. Vamp host SDK development packages are not available in Ubuntu. Okay. Control F for vamp. Just one match. And that is not that much, of course. A list of required libraries here. Let's dive a little bit deeper into there. Vamp host SDK. Yeah. So this is the one. Let's search Google and Fedora. Yeah, it's in here. Vamp plugin SDK. So I think we should be able to sudo dnf search vamp. See what comes. There you go. Vamp plugin SDK. Vamp plugin SDK. I think this is the one, right? So let's do this. Install. All right, so let's run the build command again. So next, but maybe it's, yeah, what you also do, of course, is look at all these dependencies and try to install them on forehand. But this is also a way to do it. Eventually you will get there. So let's try again. All right, so found. Port SMF. Port SMF. No, nothing. And then we should look at this, the copper. So these are user packages from Fedora. So it should be something like this. So dnf copper enable, icolet, audinux. Let's see, sudo. Yes, so just be warned that you should be careful not to enable any distribution or any copper repository. But this one looks okay. And let's try it again. Oh, of course, I need to install it, of course. So do oops, sudo dnf update. Update it again. Yeah, so now you see that it also parses this one. And let's see if we can just, no, port SMF. SMS not found. Yeah, so maybe I tricked myself. Port SMS devel. Maybe it needed that one. Let's try again. No, still not. So, long live open source, I would say. Maybe this will help. Let's check. So port SMF, I installed it locally, and maybe this is the right, because this is like the build system Fedora, and as you can see here, this is the option. Check if this helps. Yeah, it does. SBMSS, I think I saw it here as well. Let's also add it here, even though I don't think it's installed at this moment. Let's check if we can do it like that, or else we will sound touch. Okay, make generate step. I thought it was passed. So configuring done. I thought it was target. Links to this, but the target was not found. Typo, target name. So I'll grab the snippet from the build system, and let's see if we can use that. Because that has been built for Fedora 37 anyways. Okay, missing expat. So I did the DNF provides again, and it found out that WX base devel provides the WX config. Let's try again. So WX config. All right, next. So another topic. I saw libmp3 lame not installed, and it's RPM Fusion free. So this RPM Fusion Fedora with DNF copy. So set up RPM Fusion as a separate repository. All right, probably should be lame devel. We'll see it here, lame devel. Dependencies. Here we have libmp3 lame. Should be this. Let's check. Yes. Next, port audio. Errors occurred. There was some red indeed here. So after some tinkering, I managed to figure out that this is the right make command. So I won't go into every detail, but in the end, I had this VST. It was not on my system yet, or it was not compiled for Fedora. And in this also use wavpack off. And then if you hit enter, it starts compiling the code. And you have all dependencies resolved. And then it should be done. So build files have been written into here. This is the build directory, so I can go to cd Red Hat Linux build and sudo make install. I can install the executable. And just to show you what I did was I went to Koji. Koji is the Fedora build system, and I did Audacity here. And then I saw Audacity that for Fedora 37 was this one. So I went in there and I just looked at the files being used here. So here Audacity, and you have here the logs, for example, the build log. And that's what really helped me in understanding what I should do for Fedora to get it up and running. And I use basically a lot of this information. So not everything, of course, is usable. But yeah, you sometimes see me scrolling through this text in the video as well. And this was very handy for me. And I also needed to know that, at least needed to understand that this version 3.13 was the one that was built for Fedora 37 and not even a newer one. So I was using a new version. And there's also some patches being applied. So I also patched it a little bit. And that in the end gave me the right commands and the right environment to install Audacity on my system. So after some time, if you have run the make command, then you will see that it's generating some files here, if all goes well, and that it completed successfully. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what we have. Go into here. I did need to tweak a couple of things, but in the end I managed to get it working. So that's cool. So this is the build, and in bin, debug, Audacity is in here. Let's open it, open in terminal. Audacity, there you go. This is built by yourself and feels good. But it's fun to build software. You definitely learn a whole lot when you start building and start appreciating packages. And I think that concludes the video.